We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's Off the Air, immediately following all of your favorite wrestling shows. It's the post show here at WR. I'm stoked about it. You see us often on Tuesdays. Tuesday Night Delight will not be here. I'm going to say that out of the gates, but I'm stoked because I'm here. And I got a co-host out in Louisville that I got to introduce to you, and I can't ever remember exactly what it is. Can you remind me, Driz?
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and girls, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in, your boy Dryzzy, the Wrestling Plug. If you don't know what to watch, I got you. And tonight, we got you big time. TNA Slammiversary. No, it ain't an NXT show, even though it got NXT all over it. Y'all need to lock in with TNA. Y'all sleeping, because this was a fun show.
We are so back, Drizzy. Absolutely. Slammiversary was off the charts, and that's the best part. We're going to break it down. And to break it down, we've got a return to the airwaves. I'm going to have to send this one north of the border because this guy's been grinding, nose to the grindstone when it comes to reviewing. So he hasn't been available to podcast. But guess what he's available to do tonight? He's got the microphone in his hand. It's head of reviewing. It's Kobe Galanzowski, all the way from Regina, Canada.
So I am sadly informed to say that I'm not happy to be here because you forgot to mention the last thing I did, and that was winning the King of the Ring quiz. The King of the quiz that we had. And you didn't even hype it up as my first podcast since becoming king. Like, come on, what is this? I'm tempted to leave right now, but this show makes me want to stay.
The Trivia King. I hate to say it. He does have a point, though. He beat us all. Me and Drizzy were in the exact same tournament, and dang it, you went to the end.
He beat me to get to the finals.
Utter dominance. We've got some comments to read. Sorry, I'm laughing too hard. So, give me a second here. Well,
Oh, don't down me now.
We
want Santana. We do want Santana. We do want Santana.
Sorry,
as he dies literally on air.
I called Clark too much here over here.
Again, we want Santana, definitely. My man's was robbed tonight. And after having the biggest pop of the entire show, even after all those amazing entrances, my man's had the biggest pop of the whole show, had the crowd in the palm of his hand. If you're ever gonna put somebody in that role, give them the ball so they can run with it, that was the moment.
I couldn't agree more, but I will say this. We do have news here. It's National Ice Cream Day. Happy National Ice Cream Day. What was I thinking? I have yet to dabble in that art, but I will get there. And then we also have YMG_Just with y'all ready to talk about TNA. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get right into it. Let's get right into the main event. Trick Williams, Santana, Joe Hendry. Unbelievable entrances out of the gate. You've got I Believe in Joe Hendry, which never gets old. Well played, my friends.
Like, why did he clap?
That was ideal, right? Wave your hands from. No, it never gets old. Mike Santana. Did that New York City crowd explode for Mike Santana? That was something I did not expect to the level it happened. So I don't want you to think I'm saying I didn't expect it. I expected Santana to be over. What I didn't expect was that level of entrance, the whole thing theatrically
agree.
perfect.
Mm.
Everything about it was like, wow. He kind of outshined Joe Hendry, who we know is viral for his entrances. And then there was Trick Williams. The choir, Harlem, all of it. Whoop that trick. Everything about it I loved. And he got us. He got us on the injury spot. He got us. Dryzzy, I'm going to you first, man. What a main event we had. Talk to me though about I thought the entrances stole the show as much as the match did.
These are big personalities. You gotta love the big personalities. In TNA, it's not about the high production value or anything. Because there is none. It's not high production. It's you get a good mid, a medium in it. So the personalities have to jump off the screen and into your house. And that's what you get in these main events. Santana, from the moment he came out, the crowd was going crazy for you. That just you feel that energy, you feel that aura. We were in the chat listening to it and we're like, oh my God, give him the belt now. And then when you get to Joe Hendry, always gonna be a social media monster, a just incredible presence, incredible entrance. You can't help but clap. Like you want to wave your hands in the air. He has you in the palm of his hand. Again, from the moment he comes out, and then Trick Williams with the elaborate Harlem choir singing "Whoop That Trick." They sung his theme a cappella. That we need to get back into those special interests for the TNA wrestlers. The match, no, it was not long, but it definitely got the job done. It was not here for a long time, but you don't need to have super long matches to tell really good stories. Trick Williams could tell this was a 2-on-1 fight. He was in enemy territory trying to defend his belt because yes, in TNA, but it's his belt and he found a way to do it. And probably one of the more old school ways of wrestling. He faked it. I don't know what it was that he faked, but it was enough to make the trainer from around the side of the ring and all the refs from the back out to the ring to try and help him. And when you thought he's gone to the back, you forgot all about him. Trick Williams at the very last minute snatches the title from the grasp of Mike Santana. Folks, TNA does such a good job of giving you so much with so little, and that's what was in this main event. A great story in a short amount of time.
I'm with you 100%. And it's funny because it's like I said, I think the entrances stole the show, and I don't think that's necessarily a problem. And obviously, the way you broke down the match, I'm in agreement. I think you look at Joe Hendry, talk about getting your stuff in, right? Finger quotes, the old school cliche and whatnot, right? Joe Hendry got his stuff in. You know, we all watched the match together. So did Mike Santana. So did Trick Williams for a time. But for a second there, we all sort of paused and thought maybe, just maybe Trick's actually hurt. And Kobe, obviously, you're a reviewer and you're not usually in this position immediately following a show. This is where I'm really curious from your opinion because we were all watching it. When you thought Trick might actually be hurt, would that have affected your review at the end? Also, your thoughts on the match as a whole, just in general.
My thoughts on the match as a whole, it would have. If I'm looking at it from the review standpoint, it definitely would have affected it. But I look at this match and I see something that was done very well. And we were talking about it. And I mean, yeah, like we said, they had a lot of great entrances. Of course, Joe's always going to be entertaining. Santana had the crowd in the palm of his hands. And I'm going to sound like the broken record when I say that. And then the Harlem a cappella group that was representing Trick Williams doing the Whoop That Trick. And it was great. It was well done. And it got the people to hate Trick Williams. And I think that's what we need to do with this result. And what we need to take this is we all wanted this to be Santana's crowning moment in New York in this entire position. And I'm looking at it and it's like they did this a few times last year. We had Joe Hendry lose a couple times. He lost at Bound for Glory. He lost at Slammiversary. And we really never had that opportunity to take, or it didn't feel like they were striking with while the iron was hot, but then it was still a great moment when Joe Hendry did get the win. I don't know if this happens here because that was if there was a moment in time to do this, to give the ball to Mike Santana to say, hey, we are going to build the company around you. And of course the other wrestlers, people like Mustafa Ali and all that, and you are the future of TNA. I felt like tonight would have been the night. And I think that's part of the reason why I can sit here and say I have a reason to hate Trick Williams now. And because he stole that. He stole that from Mike Santana in New York. And that's the brilliance of this.
It was really, really well planned. And you said something like that I loved there. It's not quite a screw job because everybody's not in on it. But he played possum. And like old school cliche, Trick Williams very much played possum. Right? And then suddenly, he was okay. Right? And Santana gets sent out of the ring. Mike Santana was over in New York City. I don't think it's just there. That's another factor. I'm not sure it's just there for Mike Santana. I got wrapped up in the entrance.
You did.
Right? Like I really did. I was like, man, this is as good as you can ask. And he's delivered over and over and over and over and over and over and again in matches. Eventually, he's got to be the guy, I think. Joe Hendry, this is where I worry. We always talk strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah.
You know who came out looking the coldest from this match? It's unfortunately Joe Hendry, and it shouldn't be. This guy had an amazing moment with Randy Orton. All of that. I'm not knocking Joe Hendry. But if I'm concerned about anybody coming out of this main event, it's Joe Hendry. Because that was the most over entrance in all of wrestling. We're really talking about the other two. The other two are the ones that were more impactful tonight. At least, I don't know. We have DCX Warlord in the comments with we want Santana. I mean, there's a lot. This is interesting. This is an interesting question. Is it me or does TNA feel like Bound for Glory is TNA's WrestleMania now more than Slammiversary?
Bound for Glory, that's the best way to explain it. Bound for Glory has always been TNA's big show. That is their mania. Slammiversary is like their anniversary of them being a company because they started initially in Kobe, correct me on it. I want to say like 2005, 2004.
2005 is Bound for Glory, and I'm looking at Slammiversary.
The summer. It's like a summertime.
I guess an anniversary show. Yeah, anniversary shows happened, but the first real show was Bound for Glory 05. Yeah.
This is an interesting comment here, and I don't want to open a can of worms, but so with both TNA world titles in WWE's hand, I think the next logical step, TNA invades NXT, like TNA might even invade the PC. Didn't we just see Colt Cabana and the Death Riders? Isn't that a little like similar? Isn't that a little too soon?
It's a little
I don't
more...
think they're not going to take anything hostage.
Hey,
it's not going to work like that. If anything... NXT might go.
Hey, I'm just saying here we snap. I'm just saying
NXT might be the ones to go and try to take over TNA. Because I mean, yes, they have their two biggest prizes. You might as well put them out of their misery and take the rest of their belts. So that would be the X Division title, that would be the tag titles, the not Mike,
International.
Yeah, the international title. those are the only 3 belts that TNA has left.
Knockouts
So
tag.
And
the knockouts tag. My bad. Yeah.
the brutal
And then-
part is, and we're gonna get to Dark State eventually, but I mean, Dark State was the takeover squad, and so we kind of did that anyway as well. Like it's like we can only take over so many things, right? At the end of the day,
There can only be so many takeovers, and
It really it really
if
gives
none of them are working, then what's the matter?
yeah,
it,
Now,
it
why are you going to
really
do another one?
it really gives the whole Under Siege vibe from some years ago in WWE on the main roster when Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon were just invading each other's shows just to be doing it. That's what it's looking like right now,
yeah.
and I'm not against that.
Oh,
Let's
I
go ahead
don't
and get
mind it.
Let's get to it.
Little
let's-
competition never hurt.
Let's get a Worlds Collide going. Get a Worlds Collide or NXT Takeover. What?
But we don't want to make it a Mia Hamm commercial and make it anything you can do, I can do better. That's what we don't want. Is and bless Gatorade, but at the same time, I just that's my fear is when we get into one of those where it's like, look what we did it too.
Yeah.
That gets ugly. But speaking of things that were not ugly, JC Jane collecting belts.
Belt collector JC Jane.
Defeats Masha Slamovich, TNA Knockouts champion as well. We've said Kenny Omega. We've talked about Mercedes Moné, but it is JC Jane this time. Not one, but two. The champion of both. I found this to be electric because honestly, with all of us watching it, I'm not sure any of us were confident that JC would win. And when she did, I was pretty stoked. But I do know one guy that just gave me a stupid look, Kobe. Yeah, it's your turn to talk, Kobe. You called it. Let me hear about it.
The biggest thing is that I think a lot of us were sold, and I think especially me and Shad, we saw what they did on Tuesday, and that's when Masha got her victory, and it was like they're not going to have Masha win twice. They weren't, and I think that's what sold it for me. But I'm gonna look at someone like JC Jane, and I know how talented she is. She looked better than Jordan Grace at Evolution. She looked good, and she just has it. She has personality. She has charisma. She doesn't have to be the best bout machine because we don't need that right now. We need someone who can get you to hate them. And that's what Fatal Influence are doing. There's two underlying stories that Fatal Influence are retaining things. They're keeping the belts and they are on top of the division. Keep in mind, there will also be a time where if they want to go the route of Fallon Henley splitting and attacking JC Jane, she can go, well, I'm the reason why you were the unbeatable champion. You went, and there's so many ways they can do about it, and there's a brilliant way to build on this. I think this was the right move because the Knockouts division needs a shot in the arm, and it has needed one for a long while. I think Masha Slamovich can only do so well because she has had a good match with Tessa Blanchard, and I can't remember who she beat at Hard to Kill because I'm blanking at the moment.
Jordan,
but because it was Jordan Tessa at Genesis.
Shoot,
I'm trying. I do forget.
I know Masha beat Jordan to get the belt.
She beat Jordan to get the belt last year at Bound for Glory. And it's been a while. I forget what it was at Genesis. Oh, Rosemary. It was like
there we go. Match. There we go.
Never mind. But that's the thing. I do think this as a whole, I do think this division needs a shot in the arm. I'm looking at someone like it's losing a lot of its key players. We had a short run with Trinity. Now Naomi. Now on top of Monday Night Raw, we had Jordan Grace has gone. Deonna Purrazzo has gone to AEW. And I think right now. They just need to rebuild, and I think if they can get someone,
you're not wrong.
Jade,
you're not wrong. But if there's anybody,
if she can go there, she can go there.
Go ahead, Driz.
You're not wrong. But if there's anybody I would have wholehearted faith in rebuilding a division, it's the TNA knockouts. They go through
That's
this
true.
periodically, and it's almost
Oh,
ridiculous
always.
how many times they almost go through women more than the NXT women's roster goes through. They figure a way to build that roster right back up to one of the best every single year.
Well, and that's where I
Every
was going to
couple,
ask you, Driz, next too, because Kobe, I think you are spot on in so much of this. But when it comes to this whole thing, Chad's not here, obviously though. But we are on the program off the air, right? We know Chad is a huge JC Jane fan.
Yeah.
We know that for a fact.
Mhm.
I think tonight is the most she's impressed me yet. And I didn't actually realize it till after the fact. I want to know if you're in the same boat on that, because sincerely, I was like, at first, sort of like a little bit, like dip my toes in the water. It might be a little cold, but I am 2 feet down now at this stage, right? Like, I'm like, no, I thought JC earned it and the match was awesome. I think this is sort of her crowning moment. And I think the broader picture, to your point about rebuilding the knockouts division, is there. The route to get there is what I really want to ask you about. And so I'll toss it to you.
And in reference to JC, about 2 weeks ago, I don't know what it was, but there was something that just kind of clicked, and she stopped looking like a member of a Fatal Attraction influence. My bet, and started last week. She last weekend on the Great American Bash, she went from a member of that faction to the de facto star of that faction. The tag match with Blake and Jordan, she looked really good. The next night of Evolution, she looked like a star. And JC, just week by week now, I don't know where it clicked at, but she's she's up there now. I know we did an episode of Grappling First Positions where she made the list when she was on the lower end. About these last couple of weeks, made a good enough argument that we could probably move her to top 5 now. She might not be up there with the Soul and them, but she's definitely the top 5. And like I said, with this knockouts division, there's always women in the back waiting to go. We've seen the return of the inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay. They're back. The Elegance brand, as they're bringing in M by Elegance now. Alicia Edwards is still in this division. The knockouts division always has an ace up their sleeve, and I said for years they've just been able to keep pulling aces out of nowhere every single time. And this division still has a lot of life to it. So I'm absolutely sure that in the next couple of weeks they got somebody, a gem that we just don't see right now because it's still wrapped up in a whole bunch of dirt waiting to get polished. I guarantee they got somebody waiting in the wings to come and get it. If Masha doesn't beat them to it.
Yes, I hear you, dude. And it's
I
like
think
one of those things where it's like, just line them up, because there is the knockouts division historically, we know how good it
In
is.
fact, they recently just signed Jada Stone. That's your gem right there. Jada Stone is going to
100%.
be your gem.
100%.
I think the biggest thing is, and I know you said something clicked, and I think it's a testament to what she's done. And like, I mean, yes, it was at the tail end of things, but she debuted in NXT during the last few months of Black and Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a matter of she's been there and she's worked her ass off and she's been able to establish herself, but she's also played a supporting role for so many years. She was in Toxic Attraction. Well, she was the tag champ with Gigi Dolan.
Mm-hmm.
She did a lot of work in giving Thea Hale a reason to grow and get into a position where we could get behind Thea Hale.
Yeah.
She was the mean girl to Thea Hale's just I'm a crazy person and I can accept that.
I got this.
She was a supporting character in Fallon's North American title reign. She's played that side role where it's like now she finally got the ball. And if I'm going to call this the JC Jane experiment, it is a widely considered success because she looks good every single time she's in the ring. She gets it. She has something.
100%. I love this. Jane to the moon from Ben Davis. Monster shout out.
The moon.
What's good? Friend of the show. And then we've got TNA has Indy, Killer Kelly,
Indy.
Masha, Jada Stone,
Yes.
The Inspiration, The Elegance brand, etc. Yes, sir. DCX Warlord, no doubt about it.
The funny part is with that is, I mean, the Knockouts division, they have the opportunity to, if they do just give it to Masha, it's whatever, but they can establish someone. They just gave Indy, I mean, we'll get to Indy Hartwell later or soon, I don't know, but Indy Hartwell just got probably the biggest win of her entire career against Tessa Blanchard, a former Impact World Champion.
All right, I'm going to say this.
And I do think they have the opportunity to build a new face of this Knockouts division.
Very fair. I will say this, my friends. We could talk about the Knockouts division the rest of the night. The scoop is we will get back to it because we have a lot to cover here. We're already deep. We can't give you too much time. We only have so much, but one thing we have to cover. And I thought it was phenomenal. Either way, Leon Slater wins the X Division title over Moose in an absolute banger of a match. AJ Styles had to just put him over. We almost tried to book a match 5 times during this promo. I was fascinated by that. I'm going to go straight to you, Dryzzy, and then I'm going to go to you next, Kobe, because that was interesting. It was very interesting. And don't get me wrong, everybody that's waiting in the comments here for the tag stuff. We are going to get to the Hardys. I promise. I do promise. But right now, Leon Slater, new champ. Talk to me, Driz.
You gotta love seeing a young guy just evolve. I've been watching Leon for a little bit. Absolutely stellar tonight. I am not the biggest Moose fan, but Moose continues to impress in the ring, and his work with the younger guys and the little guys like this, absolutely amazing. Moose had us Leon Slater really had Moose on the ropes a good amount of this match. And when we got to the end with the near falls, Moose made Leon look like $1 million. And Leon, they gave him the light. They shined the spotlight on him, and he said, "Bet, I got you," leaping across the ring. Now, I know the rings look small on TV. He leaped a good half of that ring to give him a swanton bomb, and then went over to give his finisher on the other end afterwards. That takes a lot. Leon Slater is the embodiment of what the not NXT, my bad. The TNA X Division is all about. You hear it all the time. It's the tagline. It's not about weight limits. It's about no limits.
No limits.
I promise you, he is gonna take that division to new heights.
Slater is the best thing going in TNA right now, and I think he proved it again tonight. And I couldn't agree more with what you said. Leon Slater is so darn good, and I caught on to him in Progress. This guy is as good as you can be as a wrestler. That juxtaposition with him and AJ is so interesting.
Yes.
Because those two is so intriguing, and we all heard the theme music. Kobe, I'm going to ask you to talk about this one, and then we're going to run through the rest of it and get to the tag match. But, dude, what?
I think it's the fact of the matter is that we know what wrestling is, and this is a business about making moments, and that's exactly what this was. It's been so long that I can't sit here and say I know if they did before, but that might have been the first time the crowd sang for "Get Ready to Fly," where the "We Are" like that. I think that's the first time, but that's
was
what
the
this is,
whole
this
crowd
moment.
too.
It was the whole crowd making a moment of AJ Styles returning to the very company he built.
The real house.
Like
that
we
they
talk,
built.
he used the house that AJ Styles built for SmackDown how many years ago. This was the house that AJ Styles built, and the fact that it's still kicking is magical to see. As a whole, this is story time with the king of the quiz. True story. When the show was opening and we were talking about what could be potentially match of the night. And of course, the opener was Ali and Cedric Alexander. We'll get to that later. I was the one person who said Moose and Leon Slater might surprise a lot of people. And I think this was the modern day David versus Goliath. This is what Moose does. Moose is a imposing, strong, and agile man, and he can work with people like a Speedball Mike Bailey, like a Leon Slater, and it looks so good.
It's so good.
Leon Slater, it doesn't look like Moose. This isn't a match where it's like, oh, this big guy just laid down for him. No, Leon overcame this Goliath. Moose took it. He kicked out of the Swanton 450, which probably is one of the few people who ever have. I don't think anyone has in TNA, but I think he's the first in TNA, but probably not as a whole because of the UK Indies. But the fact of the matter is he made Leon earn that moment, and Leon Slater's gonna be the guy that they can build the X Division around for the next few years. If he gets the world title, he gets the world title. But he's going to be someone that is 100% going to go on to bigger and better things in many, many years to come.
For sure. Okay. This just threw me for a loop because I think it's something we can all agree on.
Cut from the same cloth. Cut from the same cloth.
Stop it. Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Y'all not ready for that. Y'all not ready for that.
What do you mean? Where do I sign?
Y'all want to rush stuff too much. Nah, y'all not ready for that.
Like when can we have that though? Tomorrow?
One of those here. Let me get my wallet real quick.
All right, let's go speed rounds here, and then we'll get to.
What's the next one? Because we definitely not speed running that.
Okay, we can't speed round Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander.
You definitely cannot. You cannot.
Okay, no speed round, Dryzzy. Get after it.
Let me tell you, there is no other way you start off a show like this. And you can't start off without this match. Give me Cedric, Ali, every day, all day, forever. These two, we talk about it all the time on Tuesdays. Some people just click together, and this clicked with even all the other elements. So when you have the other members of the Order 4 out there, you have Cedric just giving lumbar checks to random women. Not a random woman. First off, it's Tasha Steele. Y'all know I love me. I love me some Tasha Steele. But Cedric, you foul for that one, bro. You foul. You can't be doing that. I know your wife was over happy as hell about it, but no, we can't be doing that. But I can't even put in the words how good this match was. I could have lied and told y'all this was for a world title, and you would have believed me. That's the atmosphere that this gave me. This gave you big fight feel to start the show, and everybody else had to keep up with that. Y'all, go back go back on Triller, wherever you watch your TNA wrestling. Go back and watch this match. You are in for a treat. Please do not be surprised when it ends up on the list for matches of the year.
No, it was awesome. And the kickouts too, the lumbar checks, everything, the 450s. Mustafa Ali never gets old when it comes to his in-ring work as well too. Like, it goes without saying almost, but I'm with you, man. Like, to your point, this is one we definitely need to spend more time on. But I will say
that man earned that ice pack on his back, because that back is definitely going to be sore for the next long time.
Ali took so many sick bumps that just, oh my god. Like, he was like, Cedric was doing stuff to get normal people 10 to 15 years. Like,
all right, let's talk about Tessa Blanchard losing to Indy Hartwell.
Do we have to?
in a big one. Yeah, she loses and then is also suspended after attacking Gia Miller. So, Kobe, talk to me about that one real quick.
From the match itself, the biggest thing is I think Tessa is still really talented in the ring, and I'm not gonna make the argument of can you separate the person from the artist is some in a completely different scenario and different decision and all that. I think I said this earlier in a little snippet. This was like Indy won that ladder match with Dexter helping her. I think this was Indy's biggest win of her career. And I think this kind of is a testament to see that they might be trying to build Indy as the face of the knockouts division. They they gave her everything. She ended up kicking out of the Magnum, the Hammerlock DDT. Like she kicked out of a lot of Tessa's offense, and I think they put a lot of stock. And I think Indy has a shot if they do want to do Indy defeating JC Jane. I think that is the move they can go.
Yeah,
Whether it's this year or just at the beginning of next year, I do
also
think that
two-time
could
champ
be what
we're talking
happens.
about, right?
Talking
about two-time champ if it's Indy, which is really interesting.
It would be it definitely would be. She won the NXT and she could easily win the knockouts title or win the knockouts championship from JC Jane. I think as a whole, I don't know what this suspension means for Tessa Blanchard. I don't know if this is okay. Maybe we reevaluate and see how has she done the last 6 months. Is that what this represents? I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of TNA at this point. I don't know if it's anything to glance over, but I mean, she's been butting heads with Santino since she got there. It is what it is.
And Santino was on
I don't know
fire
what to
tonight.
expect, but I do think Indy getting that win is good for her.
There's no debating Santino was on fire tonight, Santana. But at the same time, the system dressed up as Hulk Hogan, tagged with Matt Cardona, and defeated Dark State this evening as well. Dryzzy, before we get into the match that we actually wanted to end the show with, do you have anything to say about this one of relevance?
I truly believe this match was used as a precursor, like a view into what's getting ready to happen. Because I really do believe that we're looking at maybe a Worlds Collider, something along some type of TNA versus NXT thing, which we all would love to see. That we've kind of dreamed this up ever since last year when TNA and NXT were having these things, and this was just kind of their version of our big faction against your big faction, and just trying to make just kind of give you a little bit of a glance of what's possible to come, and it's cool. Dark State is still very, very trying to figure their way in wrestling, and having good veterans like the system works. It helps.
That's the hard part for me is like, I feel like Dark State has just been thrown to the wolves here because it's so easy to compare to Retribution. It's like, it's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's unfair to the level of talent that is in the group. We all know, right?
Mhm.
But at this stage, I mean, the match was good. I'm with you. And I love the potential future, but I'm also just like, shoot. I just wish better for Dark State. I think it's deserved. You know, it needs to be taken more seriously in some way. Can't keep taking losses on TV like that, you know, like we all watched. This one was interesting.
We do got to give respect to JDC. He gave us a little Sabu tribute.
Yeah.
Very
and
true.
That was a great moment to see. It was as a whole. I like. Yeah, it was a fun match. But I think Dark's just to put my 2 cents because I am not on a regular and off the air after NXT. Dark State's in a weird position because they kind of said at the beginning of the year we're going to make 2 kind of dark and spooky I don't want to say spooky, but dark themed factions. They got Dark State and then they had the Culling, and then neither have panned out to do anything of anything of substance. So I think they're in a weird position as a whole.
Yeah.
But they need to figure out something. I think they know Saquon Sugars is talented in the ring.
He's
and
the
is
star.
kind of the leader.
Yeah.
But they got to figure something out because they either got to do something if
Well, that's
that
the
is
thing
defeating Hank and Tank for the tag titles and freebirding it every single week. Go ahead, sure, why not? But you got to do something to not make this a flop with a lot of
Freebird
these
rule.
talents.
I think is a great call.
4-person Freebird. Why not?
Do it. We haven't seen it in a long time. Why not?
I
that is an outstanding call.
The biggest thing I think you could do with that is because the other like we said, you could do Saquon's going to wrestle every other match, and you could have him tag with every other guy, and you could get to the point where you have different dynamics. Saquon and Cutler can be the two fast guys. You have Osiris Griffin and Saquon. Well, Osiris is more of a powerhouse for Saquon, and like you can build. Like if we're going into tag psychology, you can build, okay, this is what I can expect from Saquon and this guy. And I'm going to expect something else from Saquon and this guy. And Saquon and Cutler James.
Cutler James.
Cutler James, Osiris Griffin, and Dion Lemon.
Let him go. He's rolling.
You could mix them up you could mix it up. You could do something. And if you could make a match, you could do something with that. And you do the NXT live events and get them to the point where they can just do all of those and get experience tagging with each other and showcase us something different because you need something here.
Study a little bit.
It's none of them beating Ethan Page.
We do, before we run out of time, need to talk about ladders and we need to talk about ladders and then tables and no chairs yet, but ladders and tables and ladders and chairs, tables and ladders and chairs.
Oh my!
And a rope ladder.
We need to talk about it. We need to talk about what happened. The Hardys absolutely delivered. I would say over delivered when it comes to this one. Because you know why? For years, I have been told since I was a child that the Hardys are the masters of the ladder match. And guess what? I am not dumb enough to not recognize that they never used to win them. They started winning them recently. That exists. The Hardys now win ladder matches. Sometimes they even have backup plans like rope ladders. And that was dope too. And I was fired up about it. Everything about it tickled me in that regard because it was creative and the Hardys are the innovators of ladder matches. And then we had Bully Ray. And you know what he did? He, after the match, when Jeff gets both those titles, Matt's down there too. Bully walks out Team 3D. We're all chanting for Devon. We all wanted Devon. Nobody didn't want Devon. He wasn't there yet, but he will be at Bound for Glory. One last time. Two of the best to ever do it. I'm fired up about it. I want your immediate reaction here, Driz, because this was just unbelievable. This is stuff we grew up with, just playing out in front of our eyes. I cannot wait till Devon comes down that aisle, right?
So I'm a nitpicker. I'm going to nitpick with this because when Bully came out and said one of the great tag matches in New York, I'm like, you're talking about TLC, right? And then he said the Royal Rumble, and I'm like, I'm slightly offended because that Rumble table match, yeah, was cool, but it wasn't that TLC match. It was not that TLC match. And honest to God, I kind of feel like it's a slap in the face because a lot of Clark, as you just recently said, they didn't win a lot of those ladder matches. But you know who did win a lot of those ladder matches? Those guys in AEW, Cope and Christian, those guys were the kings of all of those ladder matches. They won just about every last one of them that involved the three of those teams. The only ones they didn't win were the ones whenever they added a fourth team to it. That fourth team would win it. But other than that, Edge and Christian ran the gauntlet on all those matches. So I really think that it's not the last great tag match if those two aren't in it. But it could be a close second.
So I think you drummed up a lot of stuff here because Edge and Christian, we're pretty aware about signed to All Elite Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some Forbidden Door stuff. That door ain't opening anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not opening back up.
But what we can get is the Dudleys and the Hardys. So I'm a little like, Dryzzy, are you sure? Like, we can't get that. It's not going to happen. We might as well get Dudley's Hardys. And that's where I thought it was funny because they referenced the tables match. They didn't reference
The TLC match.
any of the TLC or the triangle ladder match. They didn't reference any of those. They referenced the tables match from 2000. I think it's funky as could be. Kobe, you talk about it, and then we'll finish the show with all of us talking about it.
I think you forgot to mention one specific thing, and we need to have a bit of a eulogy for Mr. AJ Francis's nuts, where it's something definitely went wrong. Where I don't know what we wanted. I'm not going to make any accusations, but I mentioned Ollie earned the ice pack for his back. This man's definitely getting that ice pack for his balls. AJ Francis made a lot of people grimace in pain from being pushed off of the ladder and going nuts first onto the rung. It's a rough spot. It's a crazy spot, and
He put his nuts on the line.
He put thank you, Clark. He put his nuts on the line. As a whole, I think this match was just very fun and very enjoyable. It was that car crash where, okay, they're going to use a lot of ladders and you see a swanton here and a big spot here. And it was that chaotic, and it deserved every bit of credit it deserves, because it did. It's slightly over delivered because there's a kind of a weird thing. Like, obviously we don't know how good Ryan Nemeth can be in a ladder match. Same for AJ Francis, but it was really fun. It was enjoyable. The rope ladder to get the win is an insane visual as a whole. It's smart.
How do you play?
And as a whole, it was a good time. It didn't make me uncomfortable like last year's Bound for Glory, where they main evented it with the Full Metal Mayhem match that they call it, and then they had the Hardy Jeff spray painted tables and stuff like that. I think it over delivered because this was just it was
Myron Reed might have been the MVP too, by the way, to DCX Warlord's point. And then he also said Dudley's Hardys one last time. I will say this. The Nemeths dressed as the Dudleys. They wore camo.
Yeah.
And I wanted the table spot. I wanted the 3D through the table with the Nemeths against the Hardys. We didn't get it, but it delivered. I love it. And one last time, exactly like DCX Warlord said, exactly like we've discussed, I'm all for that. I cannot wait to see Devon back. He's worked so long to come back. He said, we'll see it one last time. Bubba did. Was not Devon get the tables. It's that we'll see one last time. But on that note, I will say that'll bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much, everybody that tuned in. On behalf of all of us at WR, please like and subscribe if you already haven't. Both channels, undercard, regular card. If you don't already watch Grappling for Position, you're absolutely missing out. It's one of the best shows on the channel. You need to check it out ASAP, and we got good stuff coming up for you. But the best part is we got a whole library of already good stuff there for you to check out. Spotlight is coming back. We've got all kinds of good stuff. Who knows? Me and Kobe might bring back the ramble. You never know. And if you aren't reading reviews, what in the wide world of sports are you doing? Start reading the reviews because nobody does it like Kobe Galanzowski. Thank you, everybody. Once again, last but certainly not least, thank you, Ben, for the late night graphics. I know you got out of bed to do this, so I did want to shout you out at the end. But on behalf of me, Clark, Dryzzy, Kobe, everybody at WR, go to sleep. Happy end of the week, and we'll talk to you soon.